Good morning and welcome to Ralph's house. Well, we've had a few wet and drizzly days. We've also had a lot of high temperatures. And what I'm doing at the moment is doing external stuff while the weather's good. And then, even if it gets cold towards the end of the year or constantly wet, it won't matter. I can do stuff indoors. I can put the heating on if necessary. So what have I been doing? Well, I've been fitting locks and doing a bit of painting on the front door. Yes, I'm sorry I haven't posted a video in a while. I have been held up somewhat, and this is what happens when you're trying to renovate stuff. You can come on in leaps and bounds, and then you hit a major problem which you hadn't really expected, and that slows things down immeasurably. And I'm going to show you why. Just thought I'd point this out to you. I'm sure you're familiar with these things, for scraping paint. But let me show you something. Let's just tuck one under my arm because I'm working one-handed here. This is a well-known brand. Admittedly, it's had a few years in it, but what use is that? I mean, it's spindly, right? And I'm assuming, let's chuck that on the floor, that this one, which is much, much older, it's got a wooden handle. Good chance it's made by Stanley. This is twice the thickness. It's done years of service and there's no wobble in it. So the question is, what's the excuse here? Are they going to say, but that's not our professional range? Which I don't buy, because if it's not their professional range, what are they saying? We've got an amateur range? Well, the best I can hope for with that, because it is wobbly, is that that rod goes all the way through and I can give that about a wallop with a lump hammer on my vise and hopefully that'll tighten that rivet up. We're about to find out. Let's give it a go. Well, it's tightened it up a little bit more. Well, I've given it a whack with my lump hammer. Yeah, well, it seems to have worked. I don't know how long that'll last, but we'll see. My £2 lump hammer. Put the end on it, flatten the rivet. But we'll see. Anyway, 2 weeks later. That was hard work, I've got to admit. Why my father did that and just painted it with gloss, I don't know. I suppose, it went on and he'd covered it, but what it did, it left problems for me further down the line and I've got no choice but to scrape it all off. That which I couldn't scrape off, I just sanded, feathered the edges of it at least, so that, when I came to put the undercoat on, it didn't really show. But at least that's clean and tidy now. I need to do the back of this door under the stairs, but as I'm still doing bits and pieces under there, I don't need to worry about that too much at the moment. That's a job when I come to decorating the whole of the under the stairs, I guess. So, yeah, that's the stairs. As far as the face, and I'm waiting for these to arrive. Originally it had carpets with carpet grip, as you can see. I'm not over keen on them because, well, I'm 60 now, which it means you have to be a little bit more deliberate when you go up and downstairs. But more to the point, if you do lose your footing, you tend to lose it on the front edge of a step and whoosh, down you go. Carpets get very slippery. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to paint these steps. I'll have to do them alternately because they take a while to dry, so I'm going to jump over them. But I'm going to paint them this same undercoat grey all the way up. So all the steps will be undercoat grey, and then I've got red stair mats which sit on the face there and just come slightly over the lip. Got a grey interleaf with that, and just under here there's a lip, you see that? And I've got an LED strip which should be here in a couple of weeks, which will light the underside of that with a sensor on it, so as you go up down the stairs it lights your way. Anyway, the next job I've got is taking this stair lift off, and it does have to come off because look, it's got remnants of the old carpet, and also you see these big gaps down the side. Look, quite extensive, easy to sort. I've just got to put expanding foam in and then plaster up over the top. That'll be nice and tidy. So once the stairs are done, once this side's been painted in the same silk white, I've used acrylic for that. The only trouble with this undercoat is it really stinks. It's just not very nice, and my son's going away for a week, so that's the week that I'm going to be painting these stairs. I've also got to put up a fence outside, which will also become part of Ralph's house. So perhaps in the next episode we may even start it in this one, who knows. And then I can start papering these walls, and we can actually start getting this place looking sort of spick and span, at least the hall, the stairs and the landing, because really I can't progress to anything on this ground floor until I've done this. So there we go. So looking good, I think. Ooh, tell you what it is, unless you're already familiar with them. It's an Aroma Diffuser, and that's ultrasonic. It's not boiling in there, but just to give you an idea. Now watch. I don't want to get water everywhere, but put the water in up to the mark, and because it's the 500ml tank version, remember that, it'll run for 18 hours, and with it you get a little container to top your water up. You also get a remote control. Can't be bad, can it? And you can change the colour of it. Right, that's off. You've got a sort of white. It may flicker on some of the settings because the LEDs are a bit, well, they conflict with the camera lens. But you get all the different colours. And there's one setting where it will cycle through them all on its own. But I haven't found that position yet. So, what have I got this for? Well, I quite like wax melt, but they are high maintenance if you've ever done it. You have to keep lighting the candle, it's a bit tedious. Joss sticks really stink, in my opinion. But what I recommend you put in this is this, and you can also find this on eBay. Well, let me tell you about the price of this first. I think it was something like $14.99. I'll probably put a link below. Have a look down there. Only took about a week to get here, so I'm imagining actually, although it's a Chinese company, it's been shipped a little bit nearer. They've probably got a warehouse somewhere in the UK. But anyway, about 14 quid. That's all it costs you for that. You can put essential oils in it if you've got any of those, but the one I recommend is this. It's called Mavis frankincense. It's the African one. There's two types. There's an Indian one, there's an African one. Frankincense is notoriously expensive, but it smells divine. It really is a nice atmosphere to sit in with frankincense in. So that's it. You get, well, you don't get that with it. That will cost you almost the same as the diffuser for a 100ml bottle, but it does go a long way. It will last you a long time. You only need a couple of drops, very little. So there you go. And go through all the different colours. So they are an addition to Ralph's house, just to improve the atmosphere. Right, and that's it. Yeah. So I don't know if the box is going to help you get the right one, but it's a 500ml tank, and it comes with a remote control. So there you go. The fish bomb though, that's doing really well. Look how clean that is all the way to the bottom there. I can actually see me fish in it. They have been fed today. You can overfeed fish. Anyway, that's doing alright. Bit of algae build up on my waterfall, but that's au naturel, isn't it? Generally speaking, painting, unless you're the slap happy type, takes time. And this is another job I've got to do. This is my son's bedroom door, and I need to paint both sides of it, and that has been impossible to do because since he's finally got his own room, and he didn't have one for about 8 years, and the fact I fitted him a lock, he disappears in there, snibs the lock, and he doesn't come out until I'm hungry, you know. So this is teenager land, isn't it, you know, because he's like 16. So fair enough, I don't mind all that. But I do need to paint his door, and he's away for a week. So I thought what I will do this week is get this door off, unscrew it from the hinges, take it downstairs, sand it down, undercoat it, and put a coat of silk emulsion on it. I did toy with the idea of getting them stripped, but that's like £25 a door. There's a lot of doors to do in this house, and someone advised me that if you do strip them, they have a habit of falling apart. Not sure how true that is. It could possibly be true. Anyway, I think I can get that flat enough to undercoat it and give it a top coat. Both sides. I'll let that dry. When the paint's gone off, I shall bring it back up and rehang it, and that'll be that job out of the way, because I've already done the architrave around his door. That's all done, and so that means all the woodwork will be done. Like I say, I've got to finish this rest of these stairs, and then once that's done, we can start. Well, we can start on the downstairs, like the front room. And you remember that 50s fireplace that I stripped out? That's all got to be resolved, and then I can start using that room. Now, the ground floor really is a bit, well, it's useless to be honest. And at the back is a conservatory that was built, I think it was an addition to the house, but it was built many, many years ago. And having been here a while, I've discovered that during the summer, the temperatures climb slightly. Have a look. This was in the height of the the hot days we'd had. Ridiculous temperature. I stood in there for about 15 seconds, no more than that, and the sweat was pouring off me. So that's what it's like in summer, and in winter it's freezing cold. And I've just decided the best thing to do is demolish that conservatory. This is it from the outside, and yeah, demolish it and replace it with a veranda, which would be a lot easier. And of course I also need to do the soffits, was it call it, and the guttering at the top, and you can't really do that when you've got this awful conservatory below, which incidentally leaks, you know, so it has got to go. But I won't be doing that this year. I shall do that next spring. I shall demolish that. Right, we're going to play a little game. It's a new one, and it's called Who's in Ralph's Garden Today? Right, well, somebody coming in the gate. Who do you think it is? What do you reckon? Got a box. Well, see what you think. Answers underneath. So that's it from Ralph's house for this episode. Hopefully we'll have made a lot more progress, and perhaps in the next video or the one after that, we'll start fixing that fence between here and my neighbours. And unfortunately it's a party wall. When I looked at the deeds of this property, all the fences are party walls, so I'm going to be responsible to some extent for every fence around my perimeter, which is a great start, isn't it? So anyway, it's 20 to 12. I haven't got a lot done this morning, and I really need to crack on. So thank you for watching, and you know, the usual thing. Sorry, I'm trying to keep things steady. Thumbs up, thumbs down, and leave a comment. Yes, thank you. See you in 106. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.